Hello, my name is Donna Coxon. I'm the practice lead for the business applications pre-sales team at A&S. And today I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Dynamics CRM for SMB solution. Often CRM adoption is seen as complex, expensive and inaccessible for SMBs. So at A&S, we've simplified and automated our solutions specifically for SMBs, removing the complexity, cost and hassle of a traditional build. In this way, we've created the A&S Dynamics CRM solution for SMBs, a subscription service with fixed, affordable monthly payments starting from a few £100s a month. The A&S Dynamics for SMB product is a Netflix-style subscription service designed specifically for small and medium businesses to help them optimize their sales management process. It takes the enterprise-scale Dynamics 365 application and automatically deploys and configures it. There's a fixed monthly price, so no surprises and no hidden costs. So let's take a look at what's included in the A&S Dynamics CRM for SMB solution. It includes account management and contact management, so the ability to manage organizations and individuals, whether those organizations are your customers, your prospects, or your partners. It includes the ability to manage leads, so identifying new potential opportunities for your organisation and qualifying them, disqualifying them, or nurturing them through to converting them into opportunities. Opportunity management's included so that you can manage and track the deals that are being worked on for your organisation. And also you have the ability to create a customised business process flow to manage your particular sales process. On top of that, activity management's included so that you can track all of the conversations and interactions that your team are having with your customers, your partners, and your prospects. Sales dashboards provide a real-time snapshot of everything that's happening within your organization from a sales perspective, so you can track key metrics within your dashboard and drill down to see all of the data behind those metrics. So let's take a look at the solution itself. So here we are in the A&S Dynamics CRM for SMB solution. Everything you'll see here is out-of-the-box capability, but also be aware that everything can be configured and personalised for your organisation. When a user logs in, the things that they can see and the things that they can do are determined by their security roles. So access is based on a user having one or more security roles that determines what they can see and what they can do. There are different ways to access solution. You can access it through a URL, as I'm doing now, but also you can integrate it to Outlook and have access to all of your CRM data through Outlook. Similarly, you may want to download the mobile app onto your phone. But regardless of how you access the application, based on your security profile, you'll only be able to see the parts of the system that you're allowed to see. On the left-hand side, we can see how to navigate through the solution, and you can see the key functional areas that are included as part of this solution. So let's work through a typical sales process. Let's imagine that we've identified some potential leads for the organisation, so some potential opportunities for revenue. So let's imagine that as a salesperson, I've been out and about today and I've met a potential new lead. So what I'm able to do is create a new lead record within the solution. So here we're able to enter information relating to a new lead. So the first thing we want to do is give our lead some kind of topic. We also want to capture our lead source. So obviously this is important for tracking our return on investment later on in the process. We need to identify how we gained the lead. So here we can select trade show. By default, my lead is defaulting to a rating of warm, but you'll see you've got the ability to change that here as well. But we'll leave it for warm for the moment until we start to qualify that a bit further. And what we can also do is put in a description. Now, when we identify a lead, obviously we need to know, is this an existing company? So I know that Jim Sullivan works for Toyota, for example. So what I can do is a quick search here to see whether that company exists. It doesn't at that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly create it. And here I've got the ability to create the account information. Okay, so we've created the account, we've populated some other information. And what we can do now is we can save the lead. So click on the save button, save the lead. And now we can see we've got a new lead created. You'll notice at the top of the screen, we've got a business process flow. So this is showing the key stages of my sales process and for each stage, the different pieces of information that are important for me to capture. Now, this business process flow can be used either to guide people through your sales process or to enforce a sales process. So you can actually make certain fields mandatory so that people aren't able to move on to the next stage of the sales process until they've captured a certain piece of information. You'll also notice different tabs along the top here. So at the moment we're looking at the lead summary information, but in the activities tab, we'll start to see a record of all the interactions and communications we've had with that person. We've also got a map that shows us exactly where the office is based for our lead. And what we can do is we can use this to get driving instructions to navigate there or to find out exactly how to get there when we go and visit. At this point, if we have information about who the stakeholders are for this particular lead, we can capture this information. Similarly, if we know who we're competing against, we can capture some key marketing information. So did this lead get generated as the result of a particular campaign? And also, does our lead have any particular contact preferences? So our lead has been created, and what we'll do now is we'll start to work on that lead and qualify that lead. So as we go through the process, we'll start to capture more information to identify whether there's a real opportunity here for some revenue for the organisation. So returning to our leads, when I go back to my leads form, I can now see the lead that I created is at the top of the list. You've got the ability to search this as well. So if you want to, you can do a quick search over here, which will filter out any records that you want to find. If you want to search across all the different areas, there's also a global search at the top where you can perform searches and it will find any records that match what you're looking for. Okay, so going back to our lead, I've been chatting to Jim Sullivan, and you can see I've got a record of the phone call here in my timeline. And I've identified that this is a genuine lead and there is a genuine opportunity here relating to the product that Jim's interested in buying. So what I want to do is just make sure that I've captured all the relevant information that's needed. So for example, what the estimated budget is, what the purchase process is, who the decision makers are. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this lead onto the next stage of the process. So now I've completed all of the key information, and what you'll notice at the top of the screen is I have a number of different actions that I can complete here as well. So if I had identified that this lead didn't really have legs and wasn't going to proceed any further, what I can do is I can actually disqualify it. So what that does is that archives the lead. If I'd identified that this person did have potential to actually generate some revenue, but wasn't ready to spend anything with us yet, what I might want to do then is create a marketing list, like a nurture list, and I could add this lead to a nurture list and then just nurture them until such time as they are ready to purchase from us. But for now, I've identified that this is a valid lead and I do want to convert it into an opportunity to progress it further. So what I want to do is qualify the lead into an opportunity. So you'll notice that I've got a qualify button here. Now what that's going to do is it's actually going to convert the lead into an opportunity record and move it on to the next stage of the sales process. So here we can see that we are now looking at an opportunity record. Over on the left-hand side, we've been navigated into the opportunities area. We still have our sales process business flow, but now you can see we're at the development stage. In the left-hand column, I can see all the primary information relating to this opportunity. So I can see the topic, the account that it relates to, the contact, the information that I captured during the lead. In the centre of the screen, I can now see the timeline, so I can see all of the interactions with that particular person, and I can see a record of the phone call. And then on the right-hand side, I've got additional supporting information relating to this opportunity. So at this point, I can start to capture things like the estimated revenue, and also when I think the opportunity is going to close. Now, during the development stage of the opportunity, I need to identify who the stakeholders are in this deal and also whether we're competing with anyone else. And what you'll notice is that I've got some additional tabs in the opportunity where I can capture that information. So here you can see I've added an additional stakeholder. We have a chap called Haroon Stormuth, who's actually an influencer on this particular opportunity. And if we drill down and look at Haroon's details, we can see that he doesn't actually work for Toyota. He works for a different organisation. he's clearly in contact with Jim Sullivan at Toyota and recommended the product that Jim is looking to purchase from us. What we can also do is capture details of the sales team. So who are the people working on the opportunity within our own organisation? So here you'll see I've added 2 sales team members, myself as the salesperson and Christopher Lamb as the technical salesperson within the organisation who's supporting on this particular opportunity. Now we can go to the competitors tab and capture any competitors that we're competing against for this particular work. So here I've captured who our competitor is on this particular opportunity. So returning to my business process flow, I can now mark complete that I've identified the stakeholders and the competitors, and now I can move my opportunity on to the next stage. The next stage is the proposal stage, and here I need to flag that I've identified the sales team, which I've already done, and at this point I should be developing my proposal, completing an internal review and presenting the proposal back to the customer. So what I'm going to do is just send a quick email to Jim Sullivan to arrange a meeting to present the proposal. So now we can see that the email has been sent to Jim. So we can see that I've sent an email to Jim Sullivan, and I can see that Jim has now responded saying, great, let's go ahead and have a meeting at 11 o'clock. So what I'm also going to do now is actually schedule a meeting within Dynamics. So now I can see that my meeting is scheduled. You'll also notice that my assistant has also notified me that I've got an upcoming meeting this morning, and the meeting that I've scheduled with Jim has been flagged there, ready for me to action. Okay, so let's time travel into the future and imagine we've had our meeting with Jim Sullivan, we've presented the pricing, everything's okay, and he would like to go ahead with this particular opportunity and purchase the product from us. So what I can do now is just update the key things that I need to update in my business process flow. So we will mark those as complete and move on to the next stage, which is the closure stage. Now, again, at this point, I've got some standard pieces of information I need to capture, but remember this is configurable to suit your internal business process. So you can actually capture anything that's important to you within this business process flow. So I've updated all of the key information, and now again you'll notice at the top of the ribbon I've got the ability to mark the opportunity as won or to mark it as lost. So obviously this is a successful one, so what I'm going to do here is close the opportunity as won, and now I'm prompted to capture the final information about the opportunity. So we're going to capture the final information. I gave him a slight discount here, so we'll just update the actual revenue and then mark the opportunities closed. We've taken a lead through the sales process into an opportunity, identified the competitors, the stakeholders, had some communications with the customer, and updated the business process as we've gone through and closed the opportunity as one. And now in the timeline, I can see all of the interactions that have been had with this particular customer, and also you'll notice in the timeline as well there's a time entry saying that the opportunity was completed and for the final revenue. So if we quickly go now and look at our list of opportunities, so within the system I can see all of my opportunities. You'll notice you have the ability to filter. So here I'm looking at my open opportunities, but I may want to filter the list on my won opportunities. And when I do that, I can see that the Jim Sullivan Customer Insights opportunity is in that list. If we go and look at the account record, again, we can see all of the account information and the full timeline rolled up to the account level. And this time when we look at the opportunities view, I can see all of the open opportunities for that account. But also if I change the list to filter on won opportunities, I can now see all of the opportunities that we've won against that particular account. Just a couple of other interesting capabilities to look at. If we go and look at the lists of accounts, now you'll notice that whenever we go to one of these views, it defaults to the My view. So I'm seeing my accounts, my opportunities, my leads. So at all points, you can actually change the view and change the filter so that it refreshes that. You can also create your own filters. So if you just want to see accounts that are partners, you could create your own filter that shows you all of your partners. If you just want to see accounts that are a priority one, you can change the filter to show you those. If you want a view that shows you all of the accounts that have an opportunity greater than £50,000 due to close this quarter, you can create that filter and have that view available to you. So there's a really quick way of getting information quickly to see who matches certain criteria. But here I'm looking at a list of all of my active accounts, and you'll notice that a couple of them have this little hierarchy button, and that just shows that there are sub-accounts related to this organisation. So we can see that Northwind Traders is the parent account, but it has a sub-account called Topher Inc. So these hierarchical views are really useful if you want to see very quickly whether an organisation has relationships with other organisations. Similarly, when you are looking at a company record or an account record, you'll notice there's also an org chart option as well. So where we've just seen the hierarchy shows us relationships between accounts, the org chart shows us relationships between the contacts. So we can see the primary contact within that organisation, but then we can also see the people who report into that person. So again, you're able to replicate an org chart within the solution so that you can see those relationships and dependencies between the different people that you're speaking to on a daily basis, as well as the relationships between the organisations. Quick look at activities. So we've seen that against a lead, an opportunity, an account, a contact, we can create different types of activities and tasks. So we can create emails, tasks, meetings, appointments, phone calls. You can also create your own custom types of activities as well. So for example, you may want to create an activity type of call report so that your salespeople complete a call report whenever they visit a customer. That's very easily done within the solution. So we've seen that those activities can be captured against the different functional areas like leads, opportunities, accounts, etc. But if you just want to come in and see a list of all of your activities and almost get a to-do list, then you can just come into the activities area. So here, this is showing me all of the activities that are assigned to me as a user. But again, we've got that ability to actually change the view and see different views of those activities. So if you wanted to see all of the phone calls that have been made or all of the phone calls that are due to be made, you can create those filters and those views to see that information. What I can also do very quickly is filter this by due date. So if I want to see everything that is due or overdue, I can filter on that. And if I then want to filter on different types of activities, so if I just want to focus on my phone calls today, I can now filter by phone call. And the system will automatically give me a list of all of my overdue phone calls that I need to make. So what I can do is I can now start to work my way through these records and mark them as complete or reassign them to someone else as I go through the list. Within these views, you've always got charts so that you can see the information graphically. So if I want to see all of the activities that are outstanding by owner, by priority, then I can start to track that. If I then just want to look at the high priority activities, I can click on that section of the chart and it will automatically show me just the high priority activities that are overdue. And that leads me nicely on finally to the dashboards. So the dashboards effectively are a collection of different charts and views that enable you to track different metrics. So as part of the Dynamics for SMB solution, we've included two dashboards. We've included a salesperson dashboard and a sales manager dashboard. So the salesperson dashboard will show for any individual their own open opportunities, their open leads. It shows them the assistant, so it'll prompt them with any notifications regarding upcoming activities that need to be completed. It shows them their open opportunities and their closed opportunities in the current fiscal year. Now, as with the charts that we saw just now, these are completely real-time, so you can drill down onto these to get to the records that you want to look at. So, for example, if we want to see all of our open leads, we can very quickly open all of the records associated with that chart. If we just want to see the leads relating to trade shows, we can click on this part of the chart and it will automatically filter that list. If we look at the Sales Manager dashboard, the Sales Manager dashboard is giving a global view of all the data. So we're not looking at our own opportunities, we're looking at opportunities for the entire team. So the Sales Manager can see all of the open opportunities, all of the open leads. They can see any high value deals that are currently at risk. They can see the open opportunities by owner and priority, and they can also see a sales leaderboard, so who's actually closing the most opportunities. Sales pipeline dashboard is particularly useful if you're managing your pipeline. So if I want to look at all the deals that are still in qualification stage, we can open the records, select the qualify stage, and then what we can do is we can even drill down further. So if we want to drill down on forecast category or rating, for example, we can actually go and select that field from the list. So we're looking at all of the opportunities that are in qualification stage, but now if I want to go and actually check by rating as well, now I can see that 50% of them are warm, 50% are cold. So let's go and look at the cold ones. So we click on the cold section of the chart. Now, if I wanted to, I could drill down even further. So we could look at estimated close date, for example. But in this view on the right, I can now filter, for example, on estimated close date. So I can see that I've got one here that was due to close in March. It's got a cold rating. It's in qualification stage. So perhaps there's something that needs doing to unblock that opportunity and move that through the process. So the dashboards give you a real-time snapshot of any information within your system that you want to track. And as I said, all of this is configurable. So users can create their own dashboards. You can configure the fields, the views, the filters, everything within the solution so that it matches your own internal sales processes. But hopefully this has given you a really good feel for what's included out of the box as part of the ANS Dynamics CRM for SMB solution. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like more information about our SMB solution, please do reach out. We'd love to help you on your CRM journey.